I am Tori McGee, and welcome to the Rapid Recovery Report, sponsored by ROMTech, the modern technology of rehab. So, welcome to another week of our series, and we've got a really special guest today. We actually are bringing in one of our very own, we like to call them ROM stars or ROM stars, Josh Trimble. So Josh is ROMTech's field clinician manager, and he started with us over a year ago as we launched a number of our PortableConnect pilot sites across the country. Josh is based out of St. Louis, and he has seen field growth from patient number 1 to patient 1,000 as one of our traveling field clinicians. So through ROMTech's explosive expansion, Josh has played an integral role in hiring and training all of our new field clinicians who are responsible for facilitating the delivery and the education for the PortableConnect device to those new patients. So he also has an 11-year background in CPM and post-op bracing sales. So working directly with patient recovery after orthopedic surgery, his perspective on other rehab devices provides us a really unique view on how the PortableConnect has been making an impact on the industry. So welcome, Josh. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And tell us where you are right now.
I am in Brookfield, where our headquarters is, and I'm actually back in where I spend most of my time here in our training room.
Okay, great. I see a PortableConnect behind you.
Yes, it's back there. We just got done about an hour and a half ago, so still in the process of cleaning it up.
Well, thanks for sticking around after your long day to talk with us a little bit.
My pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about, we'll just dive right in. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about the process of becoming a field clinician with ROMTech.
Yeah, so it used to be just a brief interview and you kind of got going, but now we've upped our game a little bit now that we're growing so rapidly that it's a 3-step process. They start an interview with HR, and then if they're qualified, they come to me. And I ask them a few questions, and I kind of go more in depth of what the day-to-day in the life of a field clinician. It's something that, the way it's described is, you see patients, you go in, you're in the patient's home, you educate them, you do that. There's a lot more that goes into being a field clinician. And then if they're gung-ho and I think they're the right fit, then I will pass them along to our national sales manager and marketing director, Steve Harris. So, and then he closes up the final interview, and if they pass all 3 levels, we send them an offer, and hopefully they accept, because we want them, obviously, if they made it through that process.
So what kind of skills and qualities do you look for when you're hiring a field clinician?
Really what we look for is someone who, if hopefully they have had a similar job experience, like what we do currently here at ROMTech. I really look for compassionate, empathetic people, people who really care about humans in general, people in general, because, this is someone's mom, aunt, grandfather, dad that we're going in and, placing the PortableConnect in their home. So we want people that are going to be compassionate, respectful. We are in their home. That's their safe place. And, we don't want to go in and make them feel uncomfortable. So we have multiple different experiences, clinicians here. We have some that had no medical background, and we have some that have had a lot of medical background. And there's really no, when we train them, it's, they have to have an open mind, because it could have different ways that they used to do things. And also too, the people who don't have medical, they're kind of like a clean slate. We can kind of mold them, and they really absorb the information, and they catch on. So we have a difference of skill sets that people have here and have been very successful and have been here for quite some time now.
Yeah, I would imagine the number one thing is personality and
personality,
being able to interact, right?
Yeah, personality, being able to interact, being able to adjust to the patient, because when we go in, they're not always in the best mood. They just had surgery, they're in pain, and we have to adapt to that. And we try to make it, make them feel comfortable and have fun with them, and enjoy what we're doing. So they become, it's funny, because they're kind of grumpy and what is this, and when we come back they're like, I don't want it to go, I wanted to stay. And those type of people we have to have, because we're there to take care of them, and we have to be able to relate to them and earn their trust and their respect. So
Absolutely. So I see that you said that you're in Brookfield in like a training room. Is that the only place where you train field clinicians, or what is their process?
So we start off here in Brookfield. They come in on Sunday and they leave Saturday morning. So it's a 5-day training. We start off with just meeting everyone here at the company. They get the privilege to actually have lunch with our CEO when they're here on Monday. So that's a great experience. I'm really happy that Peter has done that, because
That's awesome. I haven't even gotten able to do that.
He asked, he introduced himself and meets everybody, and they ask him some amazing questions. And, he's just, Peter's just the best. He's just very personable, and, to give the time, we all know how busy he is. So they're here for a week, and then they will head out to the field, and they'll be with an experienced field clinician, or they'll be with a senior field clinician. We have 4 to 5 different sites that we like to send them to get trained. And then what they're doing there is they're basically seeing what a day-to-day is like with that field clinician. They're actually going on deliveries. They're watching the clinician do that. And then if they're catching on really well, then they'll actually start doing them in front of the clinician and start working with real patients.
Awesome. Well, that's great. It's nice to know, I guess, the extent of the extensive-ness of the training that we have before they're sending them out.
Yeah, it wasn't like that before. And when I first started training, they're now senior clinicians. It was 4 days in St. Louis, and then they went to their site. In particular, James Johnson and Caitlin Muldowney, 2 of my senior clinicians, they had 4.5 days with me, and Caitlin went back to Connecticut, and James was our hard-nosed traveler. He was going all over the country. So it was very, it's come a long way. I mean, there's been a lot of people who have done such a good job to help develop this program and to get it to where it is today. And the third week that they have is the same thing. The third week, they're really with another clinician, and now they're doing deliveries on their own. They're actually helping out a busy territory. So
there has been a huge change then in training from the very beginning to now.
Basically, since July. May is when we really started training people, like hiring people on. Like, it was just myself, David Scheck, Steve Siegel, and Kelsey before that. So it was just the 4 of us.
Yeah. And have you heard a big difference in feedback from doctors' offices or patients after having the extensive training versus the way that kind of used to be?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily from the physicians, but from the patients. The clinicians are a lot more experienced and knowledgeable and confident. Confidence is huge here, because there's a lot that goes into this training. It's not just taking the PortableConnect to someone's house, dropping them off, showing them how to do it. There's a lot of other things that go on behind the scenes with data entry from the patient into the portal, testing the PortableConnect before it goes out, setting up your route for the day. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. So the patients are a lot more. The feedback that we're getting is just fantastic. We get shout outs every day from patients about certain field clinicians throughout the country that love this clinician, did such a great job, spent so much time with me, was educating me, didn't leave until I felt comfortable. They're doing such an amazing job.
Good. So let's dive a little bit into your CPM or DME. DME means durable medical equipment background. Yeah. And so are patients typically afraid of using, a CPM or a DME after having surgery?
So a CPM, not really, because that's just straight passive motion. So they're not really getting any active motion on a CPM. So, they're normally, when they would come home, they're on that starting really in the hospital, depending on how long they stay. They have a CPM there, and then they would have one delivered to their home. They're laying in bed. They're not very mobile, and the machine is just doing the work. And on top of that, they weren't really doing much home physical therapy. So they're really not getting any type of active motion or strengthening or anything like that. Back then CPMs were the end all be all. It made patients' knees feel better, decrease the swelling, help with pain management. But all in all, now what I'm seeing with the PortableConnect is when we do demonstrations for other physicians is that the common phrase is, this is a no-brainer. I'm not using CPM anymore. This is, because now we have passive motion, we have resistance, we it can pedal back. There's a lot of different different styles of treatments that we can do with the PortableConnect. So yeah, CPM was great, 15, 20 years ago, but
Sure.
it's kind of outlived its worth right now.
Now, Gio, can you post a picture of the PortableConnect on our screen here so that we can kind of see the difference? So a CPM, basically, it's like a mechanical sort of brace that would go onto your leg and automatically move the knee, right, to go up and down.
Yeah.
And you're kind of bedridden when you're using one of those versus this is our PortableConnect. So this is what you can see the screen of in the background of where Josh is. And there's pedals on both sides. They are adjustable as far as range of motion and independently. So one side could have a wider range of motion than the other. And this way, your uninhibited leg, thank you for that, Jill, your uninhibited leg is able to continue movement and you're not losing any of your muscle mass during that portion of, recovery, essentially, that you would otherwise be losing just from lack of movement using a CPM and being stuck in bed. So how are patients reacting to PortableConnects when they're being delivered in the home?
Well, their reactions are either they're super excited or they're like, what is this thing? It's when we make our call, we go over and describe what it is, but when they actually see it, they're like, wow, this is bigger than I thought. It looks like, a bike or something like that. But obviously it's not that. It's the range of motion is similar to that. This is way more anatomically correct than the CPM. But they're very timid sometimes. I mean, when you finally get them to sit down and to start their treatment session, they're normally very tense. They're grabbing the chair. They're like, I know this is going to hurt. And again, that goes back to the type of people we hire. We have to understand that. We have to understand that this is something completely taboo to them, and moving that knee is the last thing they really want to do right now. So, we kind of talk them through it. We just basically say, give us 60 to 90 seconds. I swear you're going to feel so much better. And then just kind of engage them in a conversation. And then all of a sudden they're 3 minutes in and they had no idea, and it's feeling so much better. So their initial reaction is, what is this? Doesn't look like something that's going to make me feel better. But again, like I said earlier, but when we pick it up, they just don't want to see it go.
Yeah. I bet it's fun to kind of watch them go. Not that it's fun to see patients be afraid, but to watch the white knuckle like immediately go away.
Yeah. I'll make jokes. Like if they're grabbing the chair, I'm like, you might want to release that tension because you're going to dislocate your elbow. And they're like, I know, I just don't know. I'm just to hurt. And I'm like, just take a couple deep breaths. And literally within 60 seconds to 90 seconds, they're like, this is amazing.
That's great. That's so awesome. So do you have a favorite patient story?
I have one. This is back in, probably like June. I delivered the PortableConnect to like a 69-year-old gentleman who is an avid tennis player. Like he loves tennis. I mean, every time I did my follow-ups with him, tennis is on TV. And he's like, I heard that this is going to help me recover faster. I need to get back to playing tennis. All my buddies we're in a tennis league, and I got to get back because I play doubles. And he's just going on and on about tennis. And I show up to pick it up, and I open the door, and he has a tennis racket in his hand. And he's like, Josh, look what I can do. And he's like stepping forward and doing a backhand, and he's stepping forward and doing a forehand, and he's backing up and showing how he can, do this. And he's like, I'm strong. I can straighten my leg. I can do this. He's like, I think I can go play tennis now. And I'm like, no, we have to crawl before we can walk. But it was astonishing to see, because he was again, one of those patients that was very unsure about this, but was willing to give it a try. And I think he's one of my patients that was the most compliant. I think he only missed 8 or 9 sessions out of the 91 that he had to do in 21 days.
Wow.
And it just shows that compliance with this is everything. We tell them, if you can we want them to do 5 sessions a day, but if you can be 80% compliant, which is 4 out of 5, we're seeing patients, being able to walk with minimal assistance between, 16 to 18 days, which is unheard of. It's amazing. And he was so happy and smiling, and, he's like, would you like a glass of water before you leave? And I'm like, I appreciate that. But, he was one of my favorites because he would text me and give me feedback. And this was before, we were really, with our customer service, they were still reaching out to myself with anything that they needed. And, he was, hey, I had a great day. I did 5. And, he was an amazing man. So Yeah, I was just afraid he's going to hit me with that racket.
Well, that makes my heart so happy
Yeah.
that he was able to get back to what it was that he loves to do.
Yeah, he was super ecstatic.
Now, favorite patient stories are one thing, but what are the challenges that you tend to run into in the field?
Well, obviously with us being, a startup and fairly new, it is keeping up with the growth of what our amazing sales staff is doing. Growth is obviously fantastic. But on a day-to-day, it's trying to, figure out who's going to go where and how fast can I get them there. And we have amazing, like I said, we have an amazing team of travelers as well as local clinicians that will also step up to the plate and say, hey, I can go there and do that. I'll go step up and do that. I'll go do that delivery, or I'll fly here just to do that for you. But yeah, we're growing so quickly, and we have so many physicians that want this in their sites and in their cities, and it's my responsibility as well as my seniors to figure out how we're going to move people around. But someone always steps up to the plate here. Always. I'm stressed about it, but I'm never like going to say, okay, I can't get anybody there. There's always someone that just steps up and says, Josh, I'll do it. So I would say that's the biggest challenge is keeping up with the demand of the physicians that want this. And it's just,
and that's a great problem to have.
It's a fantastic problem to have. It's an amazing problem to have, because this is the PortableConnect it's life-changing for these patients.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've got a couple more questions, but I know that we still have some favorite part of your job.
My favorite part of my job, I love being with the patient. Being out and doing the delivery is where I just love being with the patient. I love being there. I love listening to them and showing them our product. And then 1B is working with my team. Like I said, we have an amazing team, whether it's from our C-levels with Peter and Steve and working with Danilo with customer service. We all just seem to work together, and we grind out the days, and there's always positivity, and we know we can do it. And we have a big laugh at the day if something didn't go right that day, but it's just something that I wouldn't have it any other way. I love being with the patients, and and the product speaks for itself. Yeah. So it kind of makes my job a lot easier and makes me a lot happier. I mean, it's just a fun place to be. This is a life-changing opportunity that ROMTech gave me last year.
Yeah, you're definitely a people person, and Josh is the kind of person, in case you guys weren't aware, Josh is the kind of person that we're surrounded with here at ROMTech in every department. It seems like anytime, and I've worked in a couple different departments here with this company, and it seems like every time I turn around, it's just another barrel of really good apples. So I love that about ROMTech here.
Yes.
So, and so this one was kind of a part 2, I guess, is a favorite part. And then how do you stay motivated and driven in your job?
It's not hard. ROMTech is, I live, breathe, and eat it. I mean, I want to see this company succeed. I want to be a part of that. I want to continue to see us grow, and I want to continue to see the product help, more than 1,000. I want to see millions and millions of it. Every day is different here. There's changes, there's things that we have to go around, and that's what I love. It motivates me to, be a better clinician, be a better manager. Like I said, having a great support staff when I may not understand or know how to do something, I know that I can reach out to somebody and they're going to give me the time that I need. So just seeing this through and watching the product grow and get better and getting it all over the country, more than just where we are nationwide.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Well, I think that's it that we've got for questions. We did have Brittany Brown ask who your favorite field clinician was, but she was just kidding.
You're all my favorite, Brittany. I don't have a favorite.
Smart answer. We still have to come back to work tomorrow.
I coach 2 teams, and they want to say, who's your favorite player? All of them.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, well, and the patients are our favorite, and everyone that I work with is a favorite for sure, including you, Josh. You've been so much fun to talk with. Thank you so much for answering all of our questions and giving us a better insight into the field. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch us here. Be sure to subscribe to our channels on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter. We'll be doing one of these every Thursday night, and we hope to see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.